And we are back once again, and it's time for our game number 2 of the day, gentlemen. Of course, this is the Universal Open presented by Brisk and 7-Eleven. Achieves, you started some beef in the chat already about me. Can't believe that. I was like, just, nicely saying, does anyone mention anything? And then you're just like, no, but I got to make sure they do now. Unbelievable. I thought you were the bad guy. Achieves has changed since he's been away.
Well,
never.
I don't think I've ever seen Shogun be a bad guy.
Yes, exactly.
You don't know
sassy.
him that well.
He's sassy. I don't know if that makes him a bad guy.
That's very, very true. He's not a bad guy. He's a lovely guy. You're a lovely guy. Don't worry about it. But anyway, our next game is actually going to be Seoul Esports versus FlyQuest. A little bit of a change. I believe that some of the guys on Sway Purple unfortunately had a few connection issues, etc. So they're trying to get that sorted in the meantime. But this is going to be our next game. We've just seen FlyQuest, of course, in our game number 1. Now, tell me a little bit about who they're going up against here in Seoul Esports. What can we expect from these guys?
Yeah, they're going against Bork Borklan and Savvy Seal.
The great names. The greatest hits keep going today.
Everybody knows Savvy Seal and Bork. They spent a pretty decent chunk of time over in RLCS. I don't remember.
Oh, yes!
It was a
7 seconds.
5-second countdown.
Twitch chat, this is your moment. Clip it, tag me, tag Shogun, and most importantly, tag Achieves.
All of it. I want my Twitter feed just full of it.
I was talking with Shogun in the middle of that break. It's like, you try and remember all the history for all these players.
There's a lot of it.
For so far back, and, we've gotten to this point where I just forget all of it now.
Agreed. I mean, I can't remember what happened 3 years ago.
Exactly.
I can't remember what happened 30 seconds ago. So,
that's not an excuse.
So the great thing is as long as you leave it for 30 seconds, he's going to forget. So all you've got to do is just move on and not talk about it, and you'll be all good.
But, Bork and Savvy Seal, they're great players. Seoul Esports, like you said, probably going to be a pretty decent challenge to take down FlyQuest. So FlyQuest tighten the screws a little bit from what we saw in their first series versus Sway Purple. And I think Bork and Savvy Seal put up a pretty good fight, but I think I still take FlyQuest overall.
Yeah, I feel like FlyQuest, as long as the flicks start landing, because they tried a lot of them, and a lot of them seem to fall very flat. Get yourself on the dribbling challenge. Go and complete that a few times. They'll be good to go this series. I think FlyQuest is definitely coming in this one as the favorites. But Seoul, FlyQuest's already been challenged once. There's no reason to not expect it can happen again.
Well, of course, we always want to hear from you guys at home as well. Use that hashtag UOS2. Let us know who you think is going to win this series, and let us know if you think that there's going to be another Dual Force achievement unlock as well, like we saw in our first series. Looking forward to this one, gentlemen. I think game number 1 raised some questions for FlyQuest a little bit. We saw, like you said, Achieves, had to tighten up their game a little bit. Do you feel like that's going to naturally tighten up now they've got a little bit more tournament time under their belt?
I think naturally, yes. Whenever you go into a tournament, you can sort of see there's a little bit of nerves that you sort of have the unknown coming towards you. I feel like both these teams should perform better. We didn't have a chance to see Seoul Esports. We haven't actually had a chance to see Seoul Esports in 2v2 in forever long, if we've ever even seen it. So it's an unknown for us right now regarding them. We're sort of going off name value when it comes to what we're predicting.
And one thing that we do know, though, Shogun, is something that's just been announced. If you haven't just seen it, do you know what? I'm not actually going to do this. I'm going to let you do this. Achieves.
Oh, me?
Yeah. I'm going to see if you can remember this.
Oh, well, the RLCS has just been announced. The prize pool of $1 million.
$1 million. I mean, that's an insane amount of money to have on the line. I know it put a big smile on both of you guys' faces.
Oh, yeah, of course. It's always good to see the RLCS come back around. Excited for the closed qualifiers. See all of that. Or it's not closed qualifiers. Open qualifiers. For the rival series qualifiers. That's more accurate. It'll be good to see those come back around. It was a lot of fun last time, and it'll be good to see who makes it through this time. There's, 4 new spots, and should be a lot of fun.
I mean, we just came off the greatest and craziest LAN ever,
crazy.
so what better way to keep it going than a $1 million.
$1 million.
It's
crazy to say, isn't it?
Did I mention I'm Grand Champ? Because I might have to.
Okay.
Give it up. Give up the casting gig and be like, hey.
Have you got a space around your house? Maybe me and you can go and get ourselves.
In all seriousness, how annoyed would you be if it got to the grand finals of this season of the RLCS, and it got down to the final, and you're sat there, you're about to cast, and you realise that I have made it, and that I have a chance of winning $1 million. How, that is literally your worst nightmare, isn't it? Just be honest.
You seem to take me for some sort of vindictive person that doesn't want to see my friend succeed. And I got to tell you, you're absolutely right. It would tear me
100%.
apart, my friend.
Also, friends, happy with that. We'll take that.
We're friends all the way up until you lose.
Yeah.
At which point, you know, you're not my friend. But if you win the whole thing,
Hey,
hey, buddy.
Friends forever. But yeah, a massive announcement obviously coming out of Psyonix today. $1 million prize pool. A fantastic announcement from those guys and showing, you know, continued and improved support for Rocket League Esports. And as you say, after Landon, not surprised to see them put it go all out and put it on the line, because that was just an insane event.
I think that is $1 for every decibel Team 104 created.
That's true.
in
Shout
the
out to
crowd.
Team 104.
Yeah, there's a
Team
there's
104.
a donation,
Hashtag Team 104.
Were you in 104?
He was in 105.
I was in 105. I was in
Okay,
105,
okay.
but I was desperately trying to get into 104. Shout out to Stumpy and Cole for trying to clear a few people out of seats, but you know, they were looking a bit weak towards the end of it. To be honest with you, I think the voices had gone, the limbs had gone. So yeah, but let's talk about this game a little bit more. Of course, we're ready to get into our game number 1 now. R-Fly, who's your favourite for this one? Obviously, Soul Esports, we don't know too much about them. We've just seen FlyQuest, however. Are FlyQuest looking to progress even further now in this bracket?
Yeah, I like FlyQuest here in this one. It's like we touched on a little bit before. It's tough to bet against them, especially if they have settled into this one a little bit more. And Bork wants to, you know, start it off in an interesting fashion.
I think Ballpark saw just how many times that Sway Purple had success last time with those air dribbling plays and was looking to try and create his own. But FlyQuest, happy to just see that one away. I'll say Moses' improvement over the last few years, well, the last year or so, actually, I would say, has been pretty phenomenal. He was always sort of an outlier for me, but he's really stepped it up. But AJ, finding the top right-hand corner, this is a person that has just been next level for such a long time now. He's hit a level consistency.
Yeah, he really came out of kind of nowhere for the Rival Series guys in FlyQuest, and it was like, who's this AJ guy? You know, replacing Air, and it was great to see him sort of relieve a lot of that offensive pressure from Prime Thunder and Wonder. And in fact, he even kind of kicked Wonder out of that Wonder Thunder combo that we so like to talk about on the Rival Series. And AJ has really taken over as a great offensive force. And Moses, after a small competitive hiatus, I guess you could call it, from really playing on an active roster, it's good to see him come out here and play so well.
Moses taking control. Going to follow up the shot, but it's right down the middle into Savvy. See Bork. He's just Bork. You know what? I'm happy with that. I only have to say Bork. AJ with the ball on his head. He's got options to the left.
Oh,
he's going to fake it out instead. AJ, don't give this man the ball. Do not give this man any space. And if you've done any of that, then he's not going to give you a chance.
We saw that exact same dribble and that exact same goal from the left-hand side of the pitch in our previous series. And, you know, you can do it on both ways. It's the exact same thing. Buys a lot of free space, sitting right behind that ball, really making the defense question. And this one comes on the kickoff. And who else is going to score on the kickoff for FlyQuest other than Moses? This time AJ sets him up pretty well.
Yeah, and this is so eerily similar to game 1 of our previous series, where FlyQuest just decimated and dominated their opponents. Seoul Esports have had 0 response so far to the ground-based game of FlyQuest. Savvy. Ooh. Just trying to take away Moses. I don't think he quite knew that Moses was on absolutely 0 boost. Bork pushing that one across, but AJ always been so happy, but he's going to create his own demise here. Look for the roll-up, gets the bounce out instead. Soul back into this game.
Yeah, AJ was on buy time mode, and he just mistimed that one off the corner. Didn't get it low to the ground either. Took that weird hop and threw him off a little bit extra. And I think AJ is definitely capable of making that play. It's, you know,
I mean,
just
we
a
saw
poor
him
first touch.
do it numerous times in the last series. That was sort of his go-to defensive play. It's difficult enough to challenge on the wall, let alone when the person is starting to run away from you. But AJ getting it wrong that time around. Seoul Esports have got their opportunity now to maybe break the dam open. Just ramming his face into it is Bork. Not going to get anything for it, but I appreciate the heavy-handed approach.
Hit the ball really, really hard.
Hit the ball really hard. You never know. Anything could happen. I don't trust my gameplay as much as I trust RNG, so...
If that's not a statement. Nice fake from AJ, though, on the side wall. Says goodbye to Bork as he sails on by, and it's a clean one for AJ again. Give him the hat trick.
Yeah, AJ. I mean, that is the amount of respect you've got to be given to have you going towards the ball where it's fairly obvious you're going to play into the corner and still have someone react to you. That is a level of respect because there is usually no real danger from the corner. But obviously, Seoul Esports thought that there was. That's a nice challenge.
Oh,
Moses
he's not there.
just in position to keep playing that one over. 2v1 now. Bork against AJ. 2.5 minutes remaining. FlyQuest. If they can win this one, they'll have a perfect start to this. Remember, the winner of this series will not have to play tomorrow. They get tomorrow off. They are back on Thursday, and they'll have 2 opportunities to make it through to the regional finals.
Yeah, there's been a couple DQs in the bracket today. I said I was excited to see how Brad Day would play out, and they've DQ'd out of the tournament, unfortunately. Makes me kind of sad.
Off the backboard, Savvy looking for the double tap. He's got it, but it's not quite powerful enough.
No. Oh, okay.
And now AJ over to the corner, and for Savvy, it's going to feel as bad as that boost came up just after he drove over it. Minute and 45, Seoul Esports really ramping up the speed. Sort of speed that you start playing at and saying, you know what, why are we not playing like this at 0-0?
Yeah.
A lot of teams, they only really start to play, you know, up to their full potential once they're losing.
And it's too late. You almost feel like now, 3 goals down with a minute 30. I mean, barring some crazy defensive breakdowns from FlyQuest, game 1 should pretty much be locked down.
And goal scored so far was a mistake, and another one again, Bork. That's twice now he's been able to wait around, see a mistouch, and take advantage.
It's pretty clean, too. I mean, he just waits.
It's quick.
Yeah, he just waits in the midfield and just times the challenge out, gets out in front and on top. That's the important thing. You got to get on top of those clears so you can really just drive it right through them.
Bork going to try and follow this one up. Actually did make contact. Savvy's got to try and do something with this. He's going to be chased down by AJ as well. Almost gets warded off. Moses forced to save.
I really like the boxing out there from AJ as they were driving towards that side wall. Really didn't let Savvy cut that ball in a little bit sharper. Had to make him play it before or after he really wanted to. Moses had plenty of time to get set.
1 minute left now. Seoul Esports after 2. Follow-up was there, but so was Moses' car. AJ up to Bork. Bork's positioning in the midfield has been on point so far. Infield pass.
Nice cross.
Moses is right there. Had to stretch his car out to try and reach that one. You can see Seoul Esports really start to throw everything out now. AJ hasn't got contact and now achieves.
It's a game.
It is a real match.
And you love the pressure coming out here from Seoul Esports as well. I mean, no signs of fear against Moses and AJ. We say, look, we're going to keep the ball in your half. We're going to chase these very aggressively because we have to. They don't have a choice, really. And they're making great touches on the ball, great challenges. And they're stopping a lot of the clear attempts from FlyQuest, and it's a tight one now.
Savvy gets the save from Moses. There's not going to be a follow-up, but Moses has kept a lot of boost. Double tap is there. No, not quite. And now all the way back in defense. AJ will take as much time as possible. I think Savvy's expecting him to play it towards him. There's the follow-up from Moses, but once again, he's not playing it fast. Still finds the net. FlyQuest survived the scare, and that should be game 1 over to them.
Man, and that fake attempt from AJ was so good. Bork got caught on the lip there, rotating into the net, and it just took him all the way into the back of the goal, and there was no way he was getting back to that shot from Moses. Unfortunate. Hate to see it slip away in that fashion.
Seoul Esports definitely playing better in the second half of this game. They'll look to try and build upon this. This could have been much worse considering how much this game was looking to get away from them in the opening few minutes. Made a real game of this one, but FlyQuest, they will take it. Still 2 more games left to go, though.
There we go then, gentlemen. Game number 1 done. 8 goals on the board there. Exactly the same as our first game, I believe.
Yeah,
the first series
7-1
as well. So, but still some concerning moments there for FlyQuest. Yes, they take the win, but a couple of mistakes coming in from AJ.
Yeah, really kind of in the middle game especially. Bork and Savvy were kind of had FlyQuest at their mercy. They were like, look, we're going to apply a lot of really great pressure. And then and AJ and Moses had to rely on a couple of misplays on the offense to really get that ball out of their own half. And also to top that off, they ended up converting those chances going the other way, so that kind of backed it all up for them too. Well,
it was the perfect start from FlyQuest, but I feel like AJ, if I was to ask him to do one thing between games, I would ask him to have a word with the wall. Because it is, we're going to take a look at it in just a second, but it is betraying him just a little bit for 2 different goals. There's this one, where it just sort of bounces away from him entirely, and then for the second Seoul Esports goal, maybe it was the third actually, it was definitely the third. You're going to take a look at this, and bounces away from him.
Yeah,
I think he needs to sit down, look at the wall, stare deep into its soul and says, stop it.
Stop it.
Roll, or bounce nicely for me.
Most people would be a bit more polite than that. You know, they'd be like, look, Wall, I'm sorry. I've made a few mistakes, and I need a little help. And Shogun takes the approach of, stop it, Wall.
I was going to say, there are the two different personalities we have on the desk. Explained perfectly. But, I mean, yeah, Seoul Esports, we weren't expecting... We're not expecting huge things from them, but it was a strong performance from them. As you say, in the middle game there, they really were controlling the game. Unfortunately for them, it was just a case of FlyQuest getting that goal just to stop the momentum that they had that really sort of took the sting out of the game for them.
There were a couple of really good turnaround chances that FlyQuest were able to convert, and also that kind of played into a few defensive mishaps as they rotated back on defense, like Bork getting caught on the lip there, giving them that 2-goal late-game lead and really kind of locking that game down. And you just can't have that if you're trying to bring it back. And you actually touched on it early on in that game. You said, look, why don't we play like this the entire game?
Yeah.
Because you take away the first, maybe 2 minutes of that game?
It might have just been nerves to start that one off. And then once you're behind, once you start playing your own game, they'll be much better for it. It's just now about approaching the start of this next game as if they're already a goal down.
Yeah. And I think if they do that, they stand a pretty good chance here in Game 2.
I'm looking forward to game number 2. I feel like we've got a good match of teams here that are trying to sort of figure each other out on the pitch as well. But obviously, FlyQuest, every time I've seen them at the moment, they haven't impressed me as much as some of the other teams that we've had. I don't know if it's the level of competition they're coming up against, but they've seemed shaky at times. And I just feel like if a team goes at them, that they could be there for the taking.
I feel like they're going to be a team that will play better against better teams. It seems like they're ready for counterpunches in a sort of way where we've seen them not necessarily challenge too much. Instead, they're rather staying back for their defense. And I feel like I might have misread this earlier on as them maybe not respecting the offense as much. Maybe it's literally a case of that's what they want to do. They want to get that 2v1 because they're allowing a lot of offense to come towards them, but a lot of the offense they're taking on right now is very slow, very methodical. If they take on a faster team that's willing to commit more against them, they might be able to play better. But right now, as the favorites to win, I don't think that suits them.
Okay, then. Well, game number 2 is underway, as you can see in the background. Gentlemen, back over to you.
Well, it's going to be Bork.
Okay.
That was...
Moses just gets it deposited right on his car, thankfully. That was going to go very poorly.
Can we start calling, the early goals in the first 10 seconds of FlyQuest special? Because it's happened so many times today. Oh, the follow-up shot is not around. And AJ finds himself backwards, so Seoul Esports will get away with that one. But 2 great opportunities for goals either side. Savvy going the entire way. That's a good challenge as well. Bork with the follow-up. He had to find the net, but instead he finds nothing but the crossbar. Savvy now up. Seoul Esports, we asked them to come into this like they were already a goal down. They are doing exactly that. This is what we saw in the second half of that last game.
Yeah, a lot of great pressure. It's how they control that boost in the midfield is the big question. You actually saw AJ sneak up there in that midfield, take away that midfield boost from Seoul Esports, and they had to back off just a little bit, and it should be plenty of time for them to get reset here on defense.
Straight back down. AJ with another great challenge. Seoul Esports are committing a lot forward.
Nice demo.
Bork. Straight over to Savvy. Moses will wheel back.
One-on-one.
After the demo, and that is a flick and a half. Savvy right over the top of the defense.
Goodbye. You can say goodnight, Savvy. It's a nice clean catch. Keeps it nice and short. He doesn't even see Moses behind the ball. At least looking at his player view, he might have been angling his camera, but I mean, he had the entire left-hand side to work with, and Moses tried to get out there in front because he knew he was beat. He just tried to make himself as big as possible, but expert placement from Savvy putting that one in the net.
Yeah,
and again?
Drop down. Follow-up from Bork. 2-0 to Seoul Esports.
Okay.
FlyQuest, I mean, deja vu right now.
Yeah, a little bit.
8 goals in Game 1 where they won, and they're struggling in Game 2.
Yeah, you don't get to say wake up either, because they've already played. And they got to come out here, and you got to prove you can beat these guys. Talked a little bit about the great pressure that was coming on, and I think it really comes down to how effective FlyQuest are with their touches on defense. If they can hang on to these touches, and here we go, they'll go on to the orange.
Moses waits for the challenge from AJ. The infield pass is a potential. That's some lovely team play there. Seoul Esports forced to react, and they get punished for it.
And it's all about how they broke onto their own half. They want a quick challenge. Savvy tried to get in front, and AJ, not trying to do too much with it, just says, all right, the net's free. Just finish this one for me, Moses. And it's a nice, clean pass. And it's all about just beating the defender. You never want to try and do too much with the ball. 3v3, 2v2, it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's a miss from Moses, and that's
Oh, he
going to
made it.
be... As bad as that miss was from Moses, that save from AJ was equally good.
Yeah, and you needed that one too. You'd hate to see them go down by 2 here as well. Especially after just bringing it back within a 1-goal game, and to just have it slide right back is... It kind of, you know, it's not crushing. There's plenty of time left, but it just sucks when that happens.
It's really bad when you put together a really good goal and give it away in such a bad way.
Exactly.
Savvy, going to keep following. AJ doing a good
Oh,
job of
no
controlling
boost.
that middle boost. It's going to leave Savvy on pretty low. Bork does try and... Tell you what, Bork is not afraid of committing with his teammate forward. He is more than happy to go for that challenge.
Well, Bork and Savvy Seal have been playing together for a long time, at least since 2017, if not further. So they very much understand how each other like to approach the game, but that's a great touch off the corner and unfortunately skips away from Moses, and thankfully they'll be able to hang on to this 1-goal lead over on the Seoul Esports side.
Moses, it took him a game or two last series after a phenomenal game 1 actually from him where he just kept scoring for fun to really get his eye in. Just over the top, Bork can't get the follow-up. He should try and steal that side boost, but instead he is
Ooh,
going to
he
get
gave it
demoed.
to him.
AJ with the follow-up. Moses has got time to try and set himself up for something decent. He chooses to go for AJ.
Is that
AJ
it?
for the top
Ooh.
left-hand corner. It's nice from Savvy. He's faked up, but he's on low boost. Forces the challenge, and Bork
Yeah, that's-
immediately on the challenge. That was incredibly well played from Savvy to keep that ball as close as possible.
Well, it was kind of... This play right here in the midfield was perfect. That's a great job keeping it close. However, he made a pretty big mistake on defense. He got very lucky that AJ missed that rebound off the corner of the net there to tie the game up. But that doesn't matter. Sometimes you get away with one, and he converts it out in the midfield. So well played.
2-goal lead re-established. Savvy seems to be very comfortable with the ball close to him. Won't be very comfortable after that one. AJ looking to try and pass it over to the side. He's got Moses. Puts that one up high, and Savvy, he's got to try and make sure he gets something to that. Does not want the follow-up. Seoul Esports looking much more comfortable.
Oh my goodness, the bumps from Bork.
Bork just sounds like a sound effect I want every time I hit this ball. As
Bork.
he's now going to take the shot.
There's a couple different sound effects that I would really love to have in this game when you hit the ball. There's a lot of funny
So
stuff.
you got any
you can do with
examples?
it. I really want a rubber ducky sound.
You really
whenever-
want? I would take the rubber ducky
I
sound
want like
effect.
a little squeak whenever you hit the ball, you know, like a chew toy or something.
I
think
want
that'd
it,
be
but I want it
hilarious.
every single time I'm like going at like a really. If I'm in supersonic, but I hit the ball slower than 50 kph. Just like you've got something wrong here, Shogun.
I thought you liked hitting the ball really, really hard.
Well, Moses managed to hit that one pretty hard. It's going to go up above. AJ with the tap down, but it's going to slowly but surely see its way from the net. FlyQuest have
Ooh,
got
nice
the pressure,
read.
and they've got it down to a 1-goal game.
A very well executed touch here for Moses. Doesn't go for the shot, goes to the block because he knows Bork's hitting that one, and that's just a clean read.
I know
from
we're in
Moses.
Twickenham right now, Achieves.
Yeah.
That was a very rugby-like goal, where everyone just piled in and eventually get it over the line.
And the best part is you don't have to set it down in a controlled manner. You know, you can just hit it really hard.
You have to get the ball down onto the floor, but...
Well, in Rocket League. In Rocket League, you don't
in
have
Rocket
to
League, you
set
just
the
get
ball
it to explode.
down. Yeah, you just hit the ball really hard.
There's going to be the final opportunity now for FlyQuest. They
Oh.
cannot complete it. Seoul Esports have made this one game apiece. On set, we've seen this happen before.
We have.
But this time around, I don't feel like... Last time we saw this happen, I was very much of the opinion of, FlyQuest really just didn't perform that well. Now, they didn't perform great this time around, but I feel like a lot of this is down to Seoul Esports having a much more grounded game plan.
Yeah, it seemed like they were much more solid across the field, and it wasn't one of those fluky victories. It was a deserved victory, to be honest with you, in my opinion. You're looking across the two games here. You look at game number one,
Oh my
5-3.
goodness.
You look at game number two there, 3-2. They're tight games we're having here between these two squads.
The funny thing is they should not be tight games. I mean, Seoul Esports put up 12 shots.
I feel like that's a
12.
little bit skewed, though, because Seoul like to use shots to create their real chance.
That's
so,
fair.
Like, that's a little bit... I think the shots is a little bit of a weird stat
That's
for them.
fair. But either way, when you're generating that many attempts on net, even though, they're not strong chances, the fact that you're just able to sit over on offense and control a lot of the midfield speaks volumes to how well they played in that game too. Also, a little bit compounded over on the FlyQuest side. They didn't convert a couple of those chances that they had on offense, like that rebound from AJ. So, I mean, that's really all AJ and Moses have to do, I think, on offense. You know, they convert their chances. I think they pull ahead. You might look at overtime, especially with the chances that Seoul Esports have gotten over on offense, because I think, like you said, Seoul Esports playing a very good game of Rocket League. It's nice, aggressive, it's tight. They're not leaving a lot of backdoor chances open. And I don't think there's any reason Seoul Esports can't walk away with a win here in the series.
What about you, Shaggy? How are you feeling after you've seen those first couple of games? Because obviously we were all fancying FlyQuest coming into this, but it seems like the series is a lot tighter than all of us really anticipated.
I mean, I think it's down to... I think they can do it. It's all going to be down to their nerves. Can they hold it? Because the more nervous you get, the more mistakes you're going to make. And FlyQuest, we've seen how well they punish whenever a team makes mistakes. So it's down to Seoul. Can they keep this level of gameplay going and not let the situation hit them? Not let them think to themselves, we're about to beat FlyQuest. Don't think it at all, okay? You have not beat FlyQuest until it's all over. Don't even consider the possibility.
Yeah, I think they really have to. If Seoul Esports want to take this series, they need to take this game. They need to give themselves 2 potential match points there to close things out, because you just feel like if FlyQuest get this one, then maybe those doubts start creeping into the head a little bit more, and things do change. And on the other side of things, if you're FlyQuest and you go down here 2 match points, how are they going to fare with their backs against the wall? We'll have to find out now as we go live into our game number 3.
Well, FlyQuest, they responded perfectly last time around, losing game number 2 against their previous opponents. This time around, they've got to do it again. AJ, all the way out to Moses, looking to try and control the midfield. There's AJ following up.
Oh, flip reset.
Had the flip reset, couldn't quite get the shot. But
And
AJ,
again.
I think this is an angry AJ we're looking at right now. He is
agree.
not slowed down.
I agree. It definitely seems like no reverse gear for him. And he's kind of just throwing himself at the ball, trying to make something happen, because, you know, he's got the mechanics to do that, is the crazy part.
Seoul Esports
Nice
doing a
touch.
good job of controlling. Those double taps just aren't quite coming off. They've tried a few of
what a
them, but
tackle.
that... Well, that was dirty, but that was effective.
Dirty in terms of Bork just, you know, slamming Moses out of the way here and saying, no.
I don't think Moses would have made it anyway.
I don't think he would have either, but, you know, it's sending a message, Shogun. That's what
It
it's
is.
about.
Bork, zero boost, decides to get him right in the face of Moses. And for Seoul Esports, this is just going to be a continuation of the previous series. 1 goal up, and
no! Oh, no! Hey.
No.
Nice
no.
shot, Bork.
Ow.
It was clean. That's redirect pack 101 right there.
I mean, the cherry picker was hit. And it's very impressive to hit the cherry picker shots on your first attempt. But for Seoul Esports, they can't let that hit them. They can't let that be the turning moment of this series. They look to try and re-establish their midfield dominance. Savvy clatters straight into Moses.
I mean, they're coming back the way you'd exactly want.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's bothering them. They're like, sweet, let's go right after him. Up in their faces, up in the midfield. AJ trying to keep it high.
Oh, he's got past one, but Bork, this is the reason why you always send someone to challenge. You force the move early. AJ might just have a tap in here, but Savvy right in the way of that shot.
Yeah, they had to scramble a little bit on defense there, Bork. A little bit of a mechanical mishap out in front of his box. Had a weird little side flip and couldn't challenge effectively, and thankfully Savvy was there to bail him out.
Oh, Savvy, that was an all or nothing play from him. He's managed to win the challenge. And he just recognized just how dangerous that was and decided to head back towards the midfield. Follow up now. Straight back to the corner. AJ waits for the pass. That's going to go up to Savvy! And there's the miss. Seoul Esports. They've got to get this under control.
There we go. Oh
That's
my
off
goodness.
the top. Seoul Esports, come on, lads. The game is yours to take.
And they're getting all these free chances there because they are just stealing all of FlyQuest boost, and then they're just missing the easy touch. They have not let FlyQuest really control this ball. Finally, AJ secures his own corner. And that might give him a bit of a chance here.
Bork too far back. Gets the flick up. I think he's going to go straight for Moses. Instead, gets it over the top, and it's not in this time either.
Yeah, Savvy got demoed in the midfield. Bork needed a little bit of help if you wanted to make sure you got that around Moses, but AJ went out to go grab boost. Away from net, trusted Moses to hang on, and just to make sure, he demoed Savvy in the backfield.
Can't tell if that was a tactical demo or an anger demo there. Either way, did remove Moses from the play. Bork this time.
Savvy died.
I mean, he got the right angle again, but this time not on target. AJ, straight back down. Bork. Looking for a way out. 0 boost on AJ. He's finally managed to get the middle one, but he might not be back in time, and he will not be. The boost starving from Seoul Esports.
It's been brilliant. This game has been a masterclass in controlling boost on the offensive side of the field. And AJ and Moses finally get too caught out, overextended a little bit on offense, and, you know, the important thing is that Seoul Esports put that one on net.
And this really comes down to 2 things that we've mentioned so far. Yes, the boost stealing, but also just how aggressive AJ is being on the offensive side. Even with 0 boost, it seems like he's trying to stay in the play, and this time around it does mean that he gets caught too far forward. Savvy. Another boost still over in the corner. AJ, who's going to have very little turnaround from Savvy, might be available, but instead Moses right in the middle. Might be able to get it over to the side as well, but Savvy able to rotate back, sees the ball bouncing straight out.
Pass it, AJ, pass it.
AJ to Moses, too high. Looking for the setup once again. No, might be going in. Bork forced to save. Follow-up is going to be from AJ. 2 goals apiece.
Oh, that's nasty. If you're Seoul Esports, this challenge from Moses over the top of Savvy, yeah, that was Moses over the top of Savvy Seal, just kind of grinds your gears a little bit, you know. He gets a great challenge on the ball. It's just you have to make that quick split-second decision of is that in or not, and you know that extra little time you have to think just makes it that much harder to get the touch to safety.
FlyQuest, they get themselves back in the game. It's not been a convincing game from them at all, but they are still in it. It's not been a convincing game from either side, really. Seoul Esports have had a bit more of a game plan, but
one-on-one.
A lot more mistakes as well. Savvy can't add to these 1v1 victories as he did earlier on. AJ, 5 boost on him. Gets a shot anyway, and Bork tried to go high. AJ didn't need any more than 5 boosts.
Yeah, and that one goes in the net because Bork on his way back, he doesn't have any boost to work with, dives into the corner hoping it's there.
It's
and
still
it
not up.
Certainly was not there. And he kind of just took himself out of the play, hoping to have a little bit to work with in terms of the resource department. And, you know, I do that all the time. Boost over ball, Shogun. Boost over ball.
The shiny thing is always... Video games have told me the shiny thing is always what you should go for.
It's good.
We need a shinier ball, so that way I'll go for that instead.
You need the disco ball update?
Oh, yes. Oh, I'll become a ball chaser at that point. Many of my teammates might already call me a ball chaser, but what do they know?
Not the point.
Savvy. Trying to follow up. AJ's got to be a little bit convincing with where he touched this, but it's going to be Bork. Looking for Savvy once again. Maybe the pass back. It's very slow. Not going to be able to make anything from that. Savvy off the side. 20 seconds left now. FlyQuest just need to hold on to this lead.
Oh, here's a chance.
Savvy already up. I think he just tried to be a bit too fancy with that one.
Oh,
now
look at AJ again. Buying so much time. Oh.
Game number 3 will be going to FlyQuest.
It's so disgusting how he does this. Like, Bork is just waiting here in the midfield, trying to decipher what AJ is going to do with this ball off the side wall. And he just makes him completely forget that, oh yeah, the net's open behind me.
I mean, for him, there's like no good option, really. You allow AJ to go the whole length of the pitch, at which point
it's like
it's likely been wasted all the way down, and FlyQuest, I don't think you're quite aware of the situation you just put yourselves in. Or maybe you are. Maybe this is a challenge. Maybe another controller DC. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
It's possible. You did have a controller hiccup there in that first series versus Sway Purple, but, you know, either way, you got to batten down the hatches here for the final 3 seconds and make sure you get a touch.
I think they'll be happy that Moses was in a position to take that kick off.
Yeah.
Well, this is not a great spot. They need to try and keep this one going, and there's going to be a clear. FlyQuest getting away with that. But yeah, we'll say that one was a controller DC. We'll give the benefit of the doubt there.
I think getting away with it is a great way to put that. I mean, you look at the Seoul Esports side of things there. They had so many chances towards
3 big ones.
The sort of the start and middle of that game. As you say, 2 or 3 huge opportunities they didn't take, and you just felt as soon as they don't take those shots, you know what's happening. You know what's coming.
You've seen it happen plenty of times.
You've seen it happen 1,000 times, and FlyQuest made them pay.
Yeah, exactly. You touched on it a little bit after game 1, and you're like, look, the punish game is strong. And FlyQuest, again, they got a bit more chances towards the end of that game, but overall, Bork and Savvy had 2 or 3 easy, like, gimme chances on net.
This, I mean, I'm not going to say the match should have been over, butterfly effect and all of that, but there should have been a much bigger lead on the lead on the side of Seoul Esports. I mean, you see here, the miss there. I mean, they created the best opportunities. They gave the game back over to FlyQuest earlier on.
They beat themselves. They literally beat themselves.
I mean, even the woodwork was not playing for them. I saw them hit the crossbar earlier. That one bounces straight back out to AJ. And then the boost doesn't turn up. That is a PvE game right there that
Yeah.
they've just lost.
That's a game that really hurts, and that own goal unfortunately is the difference maker in that game as well from Bork.
And I think we were talking about how big a swing game that could potentially be for Seoul Esports. We were saying if they win that, they give themselves 2 potential series points. Not just to lose that, but to lose it in the way they
now you're just
did.
salty.
Exactly, you're salty and you're thinking about... The worrying thing for them now is they could go into this next game thinking about what just happened in that last game. And we know how good the guys on FlyQuest are. And before they've kind of readjusted to the game that they're currently in, they could find themselves down in that game. So they've got to just wipe that one clean. They've got to forget that even happened and focus up on this next game. Because otherwise I can see this one... This game could spiral out of control pretty quickly.
For FlyQuest, I mean, we've already spoken about it. They're very reactionary to what their opponents are doing. They're not necessarily taking the game into their own hands and trying to create stuff. Instead, they're waiting to see what their opponents do. If Seoul Esports now start getting, as you mentioned, salty, maybe a little bit, trying to overcompensate for what happened in the last game, it's going to go wrong for them. We're going to be able to tell in the first minute whether or not they've managed to clear their heads, because if they don't, FlyQuest, they're not going to have to do much. They're just going to take the opportunities as and when they get them.
Yeah, that's always the mental test, You take it 5 minutes at a time. You don't think, all right, we got to win 2 in a row. You think, okay, we have to win this next 5 minutes, and then after that, you can sit there and be like, all right, let's win another 5 minutes. That's the fun thing about Rocket League. You can't think about the big picture. It's 5 minutes at a time, and you got to win those 5 minutes.
5 minutes at a time, so 5 more minutes for Seoul Esports to send us to a game number 5 here. But FlyQuest, again, looks a little bit shaky in this series, but if they come out with the win, they're not going to care whatsoever.
They're not going to care how they got
As long as they
there.
get the win, they get the win. They get one step closer to regionals, of course, after tomorrow and the following day. So here we go then, gentlemen. Game number 4 underway. FlyQuest here on Series Point.
And for FlyQuest, they're going to look to try and really rub salt in the wound. AJ with the double tap. We've seen so many of those attempted so far this series. I don't think one's actually been landed just yet.
Man, Bork went for an
Bork
interesting
likes to
idea.
go. We mentioned this earlier. Bork will just go.
An interesting idea.
Whoa, Moses, that was some ball control and a half. Bork now, off the backboards. You get the feeling that Seoul Esports need this first goal.
I was really curious how aggressive Savvy was going to be on that touch off the back wall. If he was going to deem it worthy or just wait. And AJ might have got caught. Unfortunately, the shot from Savvy too far over. Can't chase down the... Okay, never mind. I was about to say he can't chase down the demo, and then he got him.
Infield pass is available. Instead, Moses has got control, and AJ, he's off on the hunt. Savvy's got to try and avoid both, and he's not able to do that. I love the positioning, though, from AJ, completely boxing off.
Yeah, and this one got a little bit weird at first. You can see Bork looking for Savvy across the pitch on that offensive play, and Savvy went way over to the left-hand side of the pitch. He was either expecting it to pinch or his teammate to really be able to cut that one sharply. And AJ and Moses just cut it out in the midfield, put themselves in a very great 2-on-1. Again, we talked a little bit about in that first series. That second man on the dribble, you know what that first man's going to be doing. He's going to be bulldozing all the way, and he crushed him.
Bork needed to do much better with his original shot. Going to have a second opportunity here, straight down the middle, but AJ already there. I think that's the 4th demo we've already seen so far this game. Over to the side, Savvy, he's got the follow-up. His shot is looking to just get behind Moses, who stops himself on a dime. Getting the save.
Oh.
AJ's still trying for this.
All day.
I think he's still in the competition against Andy LaRue.
We'll see them again, hopefully. Sway purple.
Back up. Savvy.
Nice
Looks
touch.
to try and hit the target, and he will. That's huge for Seoul Esports. They're back in it.
Yeah, you really needed this one. Borg with a nice touch. AJ, poor clear. I think he was just a little bit positioned too far forward, and he got sort of behind and under that ball and just lifted it instead of getting it to safety in the
I'm
corner.
shocked he managed to get that without an air roll. He just went up there, completely dead center, and hit it with the wheels. I've never seen that angle hit without an air roll.
You know, it's a great pass if you're on offense.
Yeah, sure. Moses with the follow-up. Bork trying to clear. Haven't seen too much of Seoul on defense throughout this series. Been mostly them rotating back when they do get caught.
FlyQuest, they do seem a bit more willing to really go and maybe stretch the positioning a little bit to grab boost, and actually that one slides all the way home. Wasn't sure if it was on target at first.
Well, might be the first and the last time we see them attempting that, as they get punished off a terrible challenge. You hate to see those ones going against you. It's just like, oh, okay, anywhere else. You could have bounced anywhere else, and you went in my net. But we did mention it in the last series. FlyQuest, a win's a win for them. And Seoul Esports, after the nightmare that they had in the previous game, they'll take a goal like that.
They absolutely will. You know, you almost feel like they deserve it too.
Bork follows up. That is a great tap down, but it's right into the middle of AJ's car.
Nice demo.
Yet another one.
Oh, they want the same
Savvy.
thing.
I think it's too obvious.
Nice recovery from AJ. Unfortunately, couldn't get a handle on it, and Moses is going to have to buy some time.
Back out. Looking for the backboard. AJ should have time, but he's not going to have enough of it. Bork. I mean, you know he's the one out there, and it's not like he's really hidden what his intentions are most of the time. He was going for it.
He was definitely going for that one. I think that's just, you know, situational awareness breakdown from FlyQuest there. He's saying, all right, I'll catch this ball off the back wall. We'll get it on a dribble, and oh, it's over my head and into the net. Okay. It's just, you got to realize where the opposition is.
Well, the thing is, as well, when you've got, I mean, we had the ball cam on for the entire time there from AJ. You don't actually see Bork coming. You just, you know he's around somewhere. You got to hear him. And you've got to sort of use that hearing to predict where he is. It's very difficult to do. Savvy on his hood with the flick, 4-1.
All right. So it's kind of a cruise. It feels like the amalgamation of all the attempts that Seoul Esports have put on FlyQuest's net in the previous 3 games are finally going in. And this is what they feel like they should have been capable of earlier on in the series.
Yeah, this is all the goals that they should have had in Game 3. Coming out in Game 4. But, and correct me if I'm wrong here. If you're, you know, if your memory goes this far back, I'm not going to ask on set.
Yeah,
he's already said today that his
memory's
memory...
been spotty today at best.
He's already said his memory doesn't go beyond 5 minutes. Have we ever had a Game 5 in day 1?
I can look.
Please do it, Chiefs, because we've said that this has been the closest and most depth we've seen from a region so far. We're definitely getting that right now, because right now we are on task with yet another demo. Bork, I love you. Bork is the player I aspire to be, as he's going to get it over the top. 5 goals to 1. He hits it really hard. He chases after the ball, and he hits the opponents just as hard as he hits the ball. That is a player of my dreams.
You know, he is a man after your own heart, Shogun, because I think we could all aspire to want to hit the ball really hard.
We could all, everyone aspire to be Bork.
If you hit the ball really hard, good things will happen.
Yes! But you do need a teammate like Savvy, though.
Yes.
Savvy is definitely creating the space. You need space to play that sort of style, and Savvy is definitely doing a great job of that. That is... Wow. Moses is sort of just reminding Seoul Esports, hey, we're
on the
FlyQuest, and we can do stuff like this.
And he actually, that might have went in just because AJ went for the demo attempt and forced Savvy into an option to try
After the amount of demos on them, I'd be going for demo attempts right now.
Absolutely.
Over to the side, AJ gets the save. 1 more goal away from getting the achievement unlock. That's going to be his 7th goal. He already has 11 saves.
You can't be too surprised that he's already had to have 11 saves, considering how much Seoul Esports has been on offense, but he's found the back of the net pretty well. And that's twice in the day already.
We've never had it twice in a single day.
I don't think so, yeah.
So AJ, been forced to fight for this series, but he's been a part of both series so far. Back down. AJ with the clear. Off the backboard once again. They need a goal and they need it quick. It's a 2-goal game. Seoul Esports have, you know, sort of unwittingly, whilst we have been a little bit jovial here, let the game drop back down again. There's the follow-up from Bork. That's going to be comfortable yet again.
You know, this is a pretty textbook from what we've seen all series long from Bork and Savvy. It's just one person makes a decent challenge in front of the net, substandard clear, and again, the second player is willing to play super aggressive on offense. They're like, we don't have to cover any clear options. We'll just sit here and see if they make a mistake, and it's worked out to a T here in game number 4.
We're 2 goals up, but we could be 3 goals up.
Exactly. We could be 3 goals up. And Shogun, you have been the proponent of this since the beginning of the
This is a very glass half full sort of style I'm seeing from Seoul Esports.
Yeah, it's no mercy, man.
I like it. You've sold this to me perfectly. Gonna be another demo. I'm shocked. I would love to go and check later on how many demos were on each player. There's another
they
one
gotta
from
be
Bork.
close to an exterminator.
That had to be as close. I don't think I've ever seen a competitive exterminator,
I don't think
but
so.
that was close.
Maybe one.
Maybe one.
Maybe. But it was a good ace game number 4, really. That's
And
It's game 5, baby! It's game 5 time. I was waiting to get that one out. And I mean, we were worried a little bit about the mentality of Seoul Esports coming off the back of that disappointing game number 3 in the series, but I didn't seem to shake them at all, gentlemen.
I don't think there's enough. So there's one thought seems to be going through Seoul Esports' minds at all time, and that is attack, attack. I don't think there was enough brain space there to actually have a negative thought. How can you have a negative thought of, oh, we might lose this, when all you're thinking at the time is, ball, attack, go,
Bork.
I mean, it definitely proved it, though. The 16 shots, and I mean, they put up 12, and those were some pretty quality 16 shots, you know? That they forced FlyQuest to, you know, take that reactive style that they've taken the approach to with, and said, look, if you're going to react to this, you got to be real fast. And Bork and Savvy, it looked effortless in game number 4. Again, it's what I hinted at. It's everything that they wanted to go right, finally went right, and now you just hope you can rinse and repeat that for game 5.
So we've talked a lot here about Seoul Esports. I feel like we need to move the conversation on to FlyQuest.
Yeah.
This isn't working.
No,
Okay,
I was about to say.
it seems like they're expecting Seoul Esports to defeat themselves. That's sort of a coin toss
Yeah,
at this point in
was
time.
like-
I would not put my
like
upper
the
bracket
point
life.
You made a point of earlier. You were saying they're waiting for people to make mistakes and then maybe look to capitalize on that themselves. When a team doesn't make mistakes,
Yes, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It's as simple as that. It sounds almost stupid to say it, but you've just seen what happens when a team doesn't make mistakes, when they take their chances, when they don't mess up on their attacks.
Yeah.
You find yourselves losing those games. So the questions for me now, and it's something we've seen a lot of so far in the 2v2, is how do you react to that in the next game? Because they can't play like that and expect to win again.
Well, the hard thing is you have to find a way to get through how aggressively Bork and Savvy Seal are positioning on themselves on offense. Because, you know, like we were talking about, they'll have that second guy who's supposed to be defending the midfield waiting right there just in case they make a mistake and rely on that setup guy to get back on defense fast enough. And the hard part is figuring out the way around that, because it's tough to keep it close, because if you try and catch the ball on your car, you know, they're going to come challenge you immediately, and they're going to wheel around in the midfield, and you're going to be right back to where you started. If you try and launch it long, you got to be able to chase it down after that. And it's kind of this tough thing to follow through with holding on to enough boost to be able to get going on offense, and it all starts with how well AJ and Moses can get control of the ball and how well they can hang on to it.
Well, let's see if they can do exactly that. FlyQuest trying to hold on for their upper bracket lives. Remember, you do have 2 chances here. You've got the upper bracket, you've got the lower bracket, but you do not want to drop down to the lower bracket because there is so much work to do down there. Savvy, all the way up with the clear. I believe the winner of this has got a date with Cloud9
Oh, goodness.
on Thursday.
Oh,
But for Seoul Esports, they're making a real fight of this. There's no reason to believe that they couldn't make a real fight out of Cloud9 as well. There's going to be the shot. Not quite close enough. Moses now behind. And he's going to go the entire length back. Does he want to go for the boost? No, he's not.
he didn't have the option. Savvy just took it away from him before he could even do that. Savvy is also in boost over ball mode.
It's a great strategy.
You know, it's amazing how
Oh, that's a huge win. Moses with the follow. 1-0. FlyQuest. We saw this happen last game, but FlyQuest, they want to make this one stick.
Yeah, and AJ just, he's not trying to set this ball up. He's just putting a challenge on it, and it just punches right off the car and onto the side wall, and ends up being a brilliant pass. And it's the recognition for Moses, says this is an opportunity, not afford to waste it, and he puts it home.
Now, FlyQuest, they've done a great job whenever they've had a chance to control the ball, to take it across the field. It's just the fact that Seoul Esports have been so up in their face that the ability to take the ball down has often eluded them. AJ, bring it straight into the car of Savvy. Just off screen. It's going to be AJ. Looking for the flip reset. Instead, going to go the entire way.
No.
There's the follow-up. Moses will put that one in, but that is at least 90% AJ.
It's 90% AJ, but that backflip from Savvy Seal just killed all of it. He was going to go up and challenge that, slam that into the corner, because AJ was, you know, holding the ball on a string and not really doing too much with it. And it looks pretty, but that's a defensive error in my book.
AJ, he keeps getting 100 boosts in the ball, and he is slicing the Seoul Esports defense apart. Savvy can't get there in time. You thought Seoul Esports were playing fast originally. They're 2 goals down in a game 5. I don't know if there's going to be another gear up there.
Ooh.
They're certainly going to try and find it. Savvy can't force that one in. Bork not there. And now Savvy by himself. AJ goes along with his shot. Off the backboard. Savvy, great touch there from him. We have another 1v1 set up now. It's Bork just over the top. Moses looking to try and get back. And he has got there as well. 2 great saves immediately after each other.
Yeah, on both sides of the pitch for both teams, too. I mean, those are equally critical saves for both teams. If you're FlyQuest, you can't afford to let Savvy and Bork back in. And you know you can't let the lead get any further. Savvy and Bork are thinking, we better put one on the board right now. We want a lot of time to break this FlyQuest defense down because it's been a little bit more proactive here. They haven't really been able to box FlyQuest in on their own half.
AJ winning the majority of the challenges he's been in so far, opening up space for Moses. Moses, he's got options. Choose to just try and force some boost out from Bork. That's good there from FlyQuest. Get each other passing to each other. There's a lot of boost wasted. Just trying to keep this ball out, and now the roles are reversed. FlyQuest are all over Seoul Esports. Off the backboard.
Too much space. Oh,
Moses.
Savvy.
He had a hesitation moment there where he just didn't know if he wanted to go for it. AJ now back. Seoul Esports need to find something to go right for them very soon.
Oh, and FlyQuest are now just stealing all the corner boosts. That's a great fake to make one miss. They need to convert this chance.
Yeah, but the ball is now on the floor. They could never get a flick from there, and that's going to be AJ once again, causing havoc from the wall. Bork's got to be very careful where he puts this. It's not going to give them too much forward momentum, but that will. Savvy tries to find AJ, but AJ's so smart going up on the wall. Recognize that Seoul Esports have so often gone for the bumping plays and goes out of range of that.
Ooh,
Now
Savvy.
FlyQuest could be getting caught in their own side.
It's so weird. Bork are driving at this ball, turning away at the last second, and a little bit hesitant on defense. You gotta wonder what's making them second-guess themselves on so many of these attempts. It's quite interesting.
Might just be the occasion right now. Getting to Seoul Esports. AJ up on the wall. Is beat to it by Bork. Savvy for boost. Tries to turn around. Is going to get there, and that's going to be a looping shot. AJ forced to respect and save. Moses taken out, but AJ has kept it going. Bork, you know, would love to have gone in for a shot. He's got the follow-up, but Moses will happily see that one away. Time running out for Seoul Esports. FlyQuest have done everything we would have loved to have seen from them for the rest of this series in game number 5. Controlling the pace.
Oh, man.
10 seconds left now. AJ, this has just been his game to shine.
Just making everybody miss. It's been pretty.
That's going to go
That'll
along.
do it.
2-0. FlyQuest take the series. There are improvements to be made.
And
but
there it is.
Great teams win, no matter what.
I was just about to say, that is the sign of a good team. When you're not playing particularly well, when you're not playing your best, you still pull out the results. An interesting fact from that last game, Moses was actually sat on 9 goals and 10 saves, and Bork was on 10 goals and 10 saves. So you can see how closely contested that series was. Every single player who was involved there putting up some incredible stats there, Chiefs.
Yeah, there was a lot of opportunities for Bork and Savvy Seal all throughout the series. Unfortunately, early on, a couple of those chances didn't find their way through. Game number 5, it's swapped completely. AJ and Moses got to run the show for a little bit. And, you know, at the end of the day, you got to tip your cap to AJ and Moses. If you're Bork and Savvy, you know you made a couple of mistakes, and you know that mistakes aren't enough to get you through anything. You can't afford to make pretty much anything at this level of play. And AJ and Moses, they pull it out, just like Onset was talking about, you know? Yeah,
I feel like for the first time, FlyQuest changed what they were trying to do. And this is a game plan I can actually get behind. I don't like it when they sit back at all. I mean, I sort of ranted and raved about it throughout this. But the idea of give the ball to AJ, let him do some damage, and use Moses as a shooter is great because AJ is winning. He's either getting great, clean opportunities or he's winning challenges. He has never, not even once the entire game, didn't at least take one player out. And that allowed much more space for Moses. They weren't getting boxed in. Do that tomorrow, please. Because that was much better. I don't like plan A. Plan B, though,
Pretty
Brilliant.
Make that your plan A. That's
Yes.
as simple as that. Well, let's see how this has affected the bracket. Let's have a quick brisk bracket update and show you exactly how everything is looking at the moment. You can see here, it's going to be Cloud9 versus FlyQuest. I believe we'll be seeing that game on Thursday of this week. That's one to look forward to, gentlemen. Definitely a bit of a doozy to look forward to there.
Yeah, Squishy and Gimmick playing again together like they did last year, and it'll be great to see them match up against AJ and FlyQuest. A lot of mechanical brilliance between those 4 players on the pitch, and it'll be interesting to see if AJ can make those guys miss.
Yeah, he's going to be needing to really step up if they want a chance of making those mistakes and giving Moses that amount of space. I don't know how we mentioned don't go to Plan A again. Definitely don't do that against Cloud9. They will just tear you apart because of it.
Well, at least they've learned that lesson in that game number 5. They've been forced to learn that lesson, but it has been learned and put into effect as well by the guys on FlyQuest. Of course, we always want to hear from you guys at home as well, so make sure you use that hashtag Shogun.
UOS2. You
no.
almost got me. You almost got me.
Oh, so close. So close, but it's good to keep you on your toes. And of course,
too close.
Yeah, there's a worrying moment
deep
for his
breath,
heart
Shogun,
went
deep
for
breath.
just a moment. But of course, use that hashtag UOS2 to get in touch. Make sure you keep Shogun on his toes because he's going to need it. And make sure that. It was actually 30 seconds that I can't remember things from before.
was
Not
it?
5 minutes. You gave me far too much credit. Yeah, you gave me too much credit. So, get in touch, everybody at home. Let us know your predictions for the rest of the night as well. But, gentlemen, FlyQuest, for a team that we were expecting to maybe, move through the bracket in a little bit more comfortable
Hit or miss
of a way, they were very shaky there. Do you feel it was just a fact that they had to be forced into adjusting their gameplay in that game 5? And having done so, now looking back on that game 5, that could be the best thing that could have happened to them.
Well, there's a couple things, I think. AJ and Moses, they don't play together, a ton. And I think they're just playing this one together because, they can. And I think both of them needed a little bit of time to really settle in and say, okay, how do we really approach 2v2? Because, to get to the close qualifiers, you got to go through the open qualifiers, and there's no telling what level of competition you play coming into that. So this is kind of the first time I think AJ Moses might have really been tested in a competitive 2v2 environment. I think they had to just settle in a little bit.
Okay, well, that's going to do it all for our game number 2. Of course, we've got some more action coming up after the break, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back for a game number 3.